What do you think about this? Let's see. And you guys have experience with a REIT, Green Thumb. It's a cannabis REIT. So Courtney, aka the Ivy Investor, she's our sister partner. She's with us on Sundays when we do the Black Wealth Project. She specializes in cannabis investments, and I was asking her about specific REITs. The one she gave me, I know one was MJ, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was a REIT,
Mm-hmm.
but no, I'm sorry, MJ wasn't a REIT. It was an ETF
ETF.
within the cannabis industry. Yeah. But I don't know. Me personally, I don't have any experience with Green Thumb. I never looked at it per se because the one thing I don't like about
I think they're out of Missouri. I think they are.
Are they? Okay.
I think that's the one
that
where I think the person from I think one of the executives from like Abercrombie and Fitch or Structure, one of the clothing companies, went over to manage that Green Thumb.
Okay. So, Candace, to answer your question though, I'll look into it. I just where I've been focusing personally when in the REIT game outside of VNQ, just to give you diversification, is I'm looking at the digital space. So DLR is the company I've been looking at. Companies that have REITs that have storage facilities for computers, right? Everybody's in the cloud now. I think this is a great time to get into one of those spaces because a lot of people are working from home.
And
work is changing.
The land, there's REITs that own like telephone poles and all of that stuff. All of that stuff is in REIT portfolios, and those aren't going nowhere.
So I'm gonna say this. So Candace, so all the marijuana stocks are down, and what we know for sure is that neither one of the presidents up for election is going to legalize marijuana. Neither one of them. We know that, right? So we know that we got at least 4.5 years before marijuana is legalized. So are you willing to hold these stocks for at least 4.5 years before they take off? Because now what's going to happen is once they legalize, every marijuana stock is going to go bananas. Do you want to wait 4.5 years to find out which ones are not, which they are? But like I said, and I personally believe that marijuana will be legal in the United States very soon. And I said that because we're broke. Most time, like the country in itself is broke. When people had their backs up against the wall, a lot of times they sell drugs. And the United States, like shit, we need bread. We're going to sell drugs, right? This marijuana is taking off. They're getting taxes, but we're not getting any of that federal tax money. But Colorado going crazy, everybody going crazy. You know what? We need more money in our coffers. So let's just go on. Listen, last time they needed money, they got Oliver North and they sold dope.
Yep.
Right? And you may think, they sold dope. So they're going to sell marijuana. And what the question is, when is that going to be? Now, I will say this. Donald Trump might be a president to do it, but we need more than Donald Trump to get that through. I mean, he might look at the money and be like, now next term he might do it because he has anything to lose. But how about this? If Jared Kushner buy some farms, then it's time to start buying your MJ stock. Because whatever Jared Kushner is doing is already a play off of Trump. They already got that set up. So, but yeah, man.
Interesting thoughts, Malik. Because I'm gonna tell you why. All right. So, a couple things off of that. When it comes to the marijuana industry, it's hard for me to say like, all right. So, I study these companies' books, and most of them, to use Corey's term, most of them are trash in terms of. I like buying companies with profit, right? And I also have a real estate background. So a lot of times it's difficult for me to buy companies that aren't like flush with cash because if I'm buying a rental property, right, and someone says, okay, this one cash flows $600 a month, that's one thing. If I'm selling you a rental property, I'm saying, listen, it has negative cash flow, but it might be worth, double what it's worth in 2 years. It's hard for me to process that, although I understand sometimes with growth stocks, you have to do that. With that being said, there's so many players in this marijuana space, it's difficult for me to know who the winner will be. Who's going to be the Amazon.com and who's going to be the Pets.com. I don't know. I don't study that space specifically, which is why something like an ETF would work for me if I was to invest in that industry. But great question, Candace.
But
what I was saying about REITs.
One more thing, real quick, to Candace. I plan on buying some, but that's for my play money. That's for my risk money. That's money that if it goes to zero, it is what it is, but it could go through the roof. So I'll do a little bit of money in there.